So as a HubSpot partner, one of my main things that I like to do is really help customers make sense of the information that HubSpot is now going to help bring to life for them. Now, because sometimes customers get all caught up in the bells and the whistles and the connecting of the emails, etc., etc. But the CRM is really now a tool to help everyone better understand their efforts, right? So we're going to look at an example between 90-day period, January 1st to March 31st. We're going to look at the activities of a sales rep. We're going to look at 3 activities, which is lead generation. We're going to look at deal creation, and we're going to look at deal closing. And then we're just going to talk a little bit about what does that mean in the real world, right? So we have here a sales rep within those 90 days, first 90 days of this year, where he would have created 129 or 125 deals, right? Now, in the industry of this particular sales rep, it's not for me to say as to whether that is good or bad for an entire thing, but it really comes down to 42 leads per month, all right? 4 3s are 12, so it's around 120 something. So that's what we're looking at, 41.2 or 42 point whatever it is. So first thing first, it's really up to the manager now to say, well, this may not be enough leads. Fine, we're leaving it as that. Coming out of that though, when we look at his deals now, like how many quotations are you sending out, he would have done on average about 119 within the same 90 days. Now, let's put a little bit more context. It does not mean that 119 is coming out of the 125. He may have already had leads that were in there from before, from the previous months, and they are only now ready to receive quotations. As sales, that's kind of how things go, right? So be keeping that in mind. So nonetheless, he has 119 opportunities in his pipeline. Here's the other one now. Within the same 90-day period, out of those 119 deals, he only closed 24, which leaves about 90 deals on the table, or 90 deals that are still open to be closed. All right. Now, what does that mean in the real world of the customer? All right, because those 90 deals, and we don't know how long some of those 90 deals are, they could eventually close or they could just eventually be lost. But this information is information that most times companies don't have. Or if you have that in an Excel spreadsheet, it isn't broken out in the best possible way. Another one, I'll maybe do this in a separate video, but I'll briefly talk about it here, is that there are ways within the CRM that we could understand how long it takes for him to close a lead, and on average it can be between 5, 6, or 7 months. There are certain things that's in there that factors into why it's taking him that amount of time. As a sales manager, you may now want to say, well, is this sales rep doing the right? Yes, we know his lead gen is strong and we could help him improve on it, but do we also want to help him improve on the qualifying or targeting the right groups of customers? Because sometimes we have reps where they are very high in terms of generating leads, and that's kind of easy to do in 2023 because everybody can have an interest, everybody can fill out a form, but are you now asking the right questions? Are you giving the right call to actions? Are you filtering out those leads so that when they come into your pipeline, your ratio towards closing is a little bit higher, right? The other thing to that too, it could also factors into what additional types of training do we need to give said rep, right? And so again, based upon us talking about qualification, do we need to give him any sort of training, whether he's using social media activities, etc., etc. So again, this information gives us a little bit more context in terms of what do we want to do. Now, the other thing too is maybe why the other deals haven't closed as yet. Maybe what is his timeline from deal creation or from lead creation all the way to closing. And there can be other factors that's in there that's affecting the customer or affecting the sales rep from delivering to the customer at a faster time frame. Again, I'm just using this as an example to show you all the power of HubSpot, but you also need to be thinking strategically or analytically about your business. And this is a little example, folks, as to how we can use HubSpot, or how partners like myself, how I like to encourage customers to think about their business so that when we get into this thing, they now have a little bit more direction and they have the proof as to what they need to do towards improving on their sales. All right. Let me know if this made sense to you all. Let me know what you think. What would you think of somebody suggested strategies that we should be using to improve or to help this particular sales rep? And we'd love to, open the conversation. Let's talk about it some more. All right.